So this time I just feel like there's so much more variables that's out of my control, and that's adding on to the pressure. Welcome to Midlife with Orchid. Let's explore the nuance and the courageous moments of midlife. Let's share stories, reflection, insight, and conversation over coffee, where life's rhythms, revelations, and everyday courage can be witnessed and honored. This is Orchid, your host and storyteller. This episode is not about synchronicity. However, synchronicity is part of my language and my lifestyle. I'm not even looking for synchronicities anymore. I feel like synchronicity is pursuing me. I can't get away from it. So, first of all, at the recording of this episode, it is the first day of spring. It is the first day of spring. I'm excited to step out and capture what the nature looks like in this first day. I was looking at the temperature, and so far the temperature is going to be in the high 50s, 60s, and to me that's just the right number. I like that for spring, and that's why spring actually and fall are two of my favorite seasons. That's a little insight for you. But as I was getting ready for recording this episode, as I was reviewing the title of this episode, an affirmation came through my phone, and it's also a question. And the affirmation says, "Am I ready to let go and grow? Am I ready to let go and grow?" And the title for this episode, Am I Going to Be Homeless? And to get that affirmation, that synchronistic timing of I'm reviewing the title, and all of a sudden it seems like I was invited into a different way, a different lens of perceiving the situation that I'm in right now, that I'm experiencing, to offer to you. It's like the first title, Am I Going to Be Homeless? It's valid, especially if you resonate and you're there. It's valid, it's fear-based, and it's in that crisis lens, the midlife crisis. And the affirmation that I got just the same time as I was reviewing that title, Am I Ready to Let Go and Grow? It's like that alternative, that chrysalis or alternative, courageous pose. Wow. Uncertainty doesn't equate to loss, and letting go doesn't mean giving up. I'm certainly not giving up, but it's true. I feel concerned, and I've been here before. So here's a story I want to share with you. 2 years ago, I had to move from a place that I was staying at. It has become my home for 5 years. The lease was up, and I could not find the next apartment or the next place I want to move to. And at the same time, I was questioning if I should even stay where I was at. I've been there for 5 years. Some things weren't lining up for me, even though I prefer not to move. So I turned in my intent, my notice to vacate, prior to me even knowing where I was going to go. At the time, I had a job. I turned in my intent notice to vacate. I didn't know where I was going, but I thought eventually I'm going to find my next place, my next home. So I'm going to keep looking until I have to move, and we'll figure it out. I just felt there's another sense of confidence, but also security. I think that's where it's probably coming from, but I don't believe it's one thing. That's like there's these variables that's working within me at the time. So I said, let's just keep moving. So about a week prior to the move, I looked at another apartment. The price seems right, but just looking at the photos, I was like, this isn't gonna be it. But somehow I feel like, let's just keep moving. Let's just move this energy, and we're gonna trust that something is somehow gonna show up in the move. It might not be that apartment, but something is gonna show up. So I go get in my car, drive to this apartment. I viewed it, and I didn't even have to look at everything. I just looked at the parking lot, and I'm like, this is not it. This is not it. So I get in my car. I approached a stoplight and I was sitting in my car and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to move next week and I don't know where I'm going to move my stuff. I don't know what's next. And then I turned to my left and I saw this apartment, and I've seen this in construction years before. I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is going to be over my price range, but I feel like I just have to keep moving the energy and just go. So I scheduled the time. I went to take a look at this apartment. And even before I got inside the apartment, to even before I know what floor it is, it's like just this feeling of, wow, this is it. The building number also is 11. And that is, there's a spiritual meaning to that for me in numerology. And to me, like 11 lines up. And I go into the apartment. The apartment is exactly on the first floor. It has some privacy to where it's at. It's just, I see my name all over it. I didn't even have to look very far. I just, as soon as I opened the door, I'm like, this is it. I moved in. It's like I secured the apartment, signed the lease for a couple of years, and here I am in that apartment, and I love it. I love this apartment. This is exactly, it just feels right. This is where I'm supposed to be. So in essence, I feel that I said yes to the move in the last experience. And I even said to myself, even if I have to live in my car, eventually I will find the next home. So I think that I let go of my attachment to the outcome. And I trusted that eventually I'll find a home, my new home. And I feel like maybe that has something to do also with how everything has come about. There's a sense of letting go and trust, and for this affirmation to come through and be reminded of how I related to the experience at the time. It's giving me a new way of reflecting on this current situation. I feel that the question about, am I going to be homeless? That's external based, valid, very valid perception. But the question about, am I ready to let go and grow? That is internal. That is something that has to be resolved in me even before I can see what's going on the outcome externally. So in my current situation, I have to move out in less than a couple of months. And though the situation from 2 years ago to this time looks similar, to me, it feels like it's different because a couple years ago, I was employed, and currently right now I was waiting to secure a next stable job. So this time I just feel like there's so much more variables that's out of my control. And that's adding on to the pressure, as well as I'm also in perimenopause, which I won't explore that right now. I will explore it in upcoming episodes. And on top of that, I am highly sensitive, which I just feel overwhelmed with all of the things that I feel like it's happening all at the same time. So when I am overwhelmed, and I know that right now my share is coming from victim mentality, victim tone and approach and voice. I feel like those are valid. They need to be expressed. But at the same time, it's not what's going to move me forward. It's not what's really going to show the solution. It's not really going to be what I can partner with. So it's like, hey, victim voice, we are valid. We're just going to put you to the side for now. Now we need the voice that's going to move us forward. Step up. So right now, my superpower, what I draw out from, has to be patience, compassion, kindness, and gratitude. These are what's going to help me be present in the moment, to trust, not be in fantasy or escapism, not to be blind faith, not to be over optimistic that I don't see the blind spot, but it allows me to be human, that fear is valid, concern, some doubt, these are all valid, but I work through them, and I work through them with patience, with compassion to myself, with kindness, and most importantly, gratitude. Like, I'm so grateful for two of my best friends. I've known them for over a decade, and I honestly don't know how I would go through what I'm going through, experience what I'm experiencing, and I probably won't be as mature as I am right now, as wise as I am, without their partaking into my life. They have supported me in ways I cannot even fully put in paper or articulate. but I will say that they embody patience and compassion and kindness. And I would say gratitude. The fact that they're still here, I've never felt like they try to change me or try to invalidate how I feel. Instead, they hold space. To me, I feel like they want to be in this relationship with me. They want to be in this friendship. And that to me is gratitude. That to me is they appreciate me, and they appreciate the friendship that we have. So I'm so grateful for them. I'm grateful. You know who you are. I'm so grateful for you, for being a part of my life, for all the kindness and compassion, patience and steadiness, groundedness that you've shown me. You have helped me be able to move through my challenges and be able to appreciate the life that I have because you're a part of it. And some of us, the relationship we have with our family is complex. It's beautifully complex. I'll leave it that way. And some of us, maybe we feel alone, and we don't even have that friend or friendships or community that I am talking about that I have. And first of all, I want to say I'm sorry that is your current experience. But I guess the advice that I could give right now is to befriend you for now. Like you administer the patience, the compassion, the kindness, the gratitude for you. Like build that internal security with yourself. And I do believe that eventually you will meet people that see you for you. Because as I said, my two best friends, I've known them for a little over a decade. But there are times when I do feel like I am alone as well. And I'm the only one, the lone wolf walking this path called life, I will say. But I feel like you can't put a price when you have a good relationship with yourself, because ultimately at the end of the day, it is you waking up with you. It is you going to bed with you. And if you can live your life being companionship with you, at peace with every version of you, that is priceless. You are worthy of your love.